Welcome everybody to another tutorial with ZNOneManClan, and today we're going to be taking a look at Iron Golem Farm. Now before we get into the tutorial too far, I want to just explain a couple things about iron golems and villagers and farms and some do's and don'ts, a couple of little tips and tricks. For starters, you can use iron trapdoors, you can use gates, you can use wooden trapdoors, piston doors, sticky piston doors, iron doors, but you cannot use wooden doors. And I suggest don't put any wooden doors within at least 150 blocks. Make sure you're at least 200 blocks away from any village. So, I mean, that's a bare minimum. I would definitely take it up a notch. I wouldn't put any blocks with it. Like, I wouldn't place any doors at my base at all. And I would definitely destroy any village that I could even stand getting to in one day travel. So, on the same note, saying that, we'll break this door. Iron golems. Iron golems don't take fall damage. Iron golems don't drown. To my knowledge, they can't swim. So, there's two automated ways to kill them. One with lava, or you can use a piston. You could alternatively beat them to death. I use lava to kill all my golems. So, and villagers, don't kill any villagers while doing this. If you kill a villager, the villagers will become all unhappy, and you won't get very good iron golem spawn rate after they're all upset. Don't be within 60 blocks of a villager when it dies, because in the game automatically says that, hey, it's your fault, and then same thing happens. You know, your spawn rate goes down drastically. And how do you get villagers? Well, you take a super golden apple and this potion of weakness, and I'll see if I can get us a zombie. And if I can spawn us a zombie villager, I'll show you really quick how to cure him. So what you want to do is hit your zombie villager with a weakness potion and then a golden apple, and he will convert into a normal villager. And you want to make sure that you cover your zombie villager from the sun, because the sun will catch him on fire. Now, conversion takes a little time. Each one's different. Some are instant, some take a couple seconds. This guy's taking about a minute. So now you've got yourself basic understanding of a couple of the mechanics in the game, and this is the basic outlay of what each essential floor will look like, every golem farm in itself. And if you're going to build this in a survival mode, you want to dig all the ways down to bedrock, and you want to leave a 1 block space so that your doors can get sunlight. So what I normally do is I dig out 2 blocks width from the outer wall here, just so that I can make a nice wall around the outside, and then leaving a 1 block gap for sunlight can reach all the ways down your doors at the bottom. So with saying that, I'm pretty sure this design is mostly DocM77, so a lot of credit goes to him. However, I did make a few changes. I build this in every world. This is the best farm, you know, bang for your buck and all that jazz. And I definitely recommend this design. So, like I said, I made a few changes, and we'll go over that. Next is the killing pit, and your killing pit goes right underneath that bottom layer, and then basically your iron golem will just burn up in the lava like this here. And when he's done, he'll spit his items down the water line. I got packed ice in there, so for really fast item transportation, and the iron and the roses just get spit ahead. Don't use window panes, because if you do that, your items will get stuck on the edge here. I use always a a solid glass block so that your items don't get stuck in the corners. So basically, this whole farm, if you're going to build this exact design, your whole farm is going to be 115 by 115, but every pod, if you just want to build one, then it'll be 30 by 30. And also you should know that there's a 1 in 7,000 chance that you'll get an iron golem spawn every game tick, or on average I guess it's about 1 for every 6 minutes. So you can do the math and figure out how much iron potentially you could have, and this is why I decided to build them in a cube fashion. I built 4 towers of 4. So you want to dig all the ways down to bedrock. Like I said, I'm building this in my survival right now. I build it in every map that I play on, and on this map you start on layer 4, but normally you would be on your 5th layer. So you want to make sure that you get down there and be very careful where you start building your first pod. So if this is the 5th layer where your bedrock starts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then start building on your 7th layer, and then that'll give you enough room to jam them all in, because you can only fit 4 in a tower, and basically you're just pushing build reach. So like I said, if you mess up at the bottom, then you're not going to be able to fit in all your towers, and it's very important that you get the correct amount of spacing in between so that all your farms work. Because trust me, anything that can go wrong during this build is definitely going to go wrong. Creepers, everything. You're gonna have your work cut out for you. Now, normally I just use scaffolding, and I bring a rail cart all the ways up to the top, and I load my farms from top to bottom. So that way you get all the hard pods loaded first. So what this here represents is basically build height. The red wool being the layer 256, and you can't build higher than that in Minecraft. So very close to the top. 16 villagers per layer, and which is a lot. You're definitely going to want a villager breeder if you're going to be building the whole design, which is by far worth it. So far what you see here has taken me about 2 days, and even though it's in creative mode, it's still a lot of building. So definitely make sure you have a lot of materials laid aside, and make sure you have sufficient area, and just really take your time. You definitely don't want to make a mistake when you're counting out your blocks. So let's go get some materials here, and I'll show you what's going on. Now, most of these materials you can use whatever you like. Building blocks are building blocks. Not everybody has the same as anybody else. So if you want to use all wool, you know, it's up to yourself. I don't suggest it. If you're in a survival, use something with a high blast radius so that creepers don't take you out when you're trying to build it. What you want is 65 blocks between each tower. So there's 65 blocks if you count them out between this side on this block, 1, 2, 3, all the ways over to the same on that tower. So 65 blocks between them, and same between these two, be 65. So all your towers make sure again that they're 65 blocks away from one another. So I'm going to count out 65 blocks in this direction, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've counted out 65 blocks, and on your 66th block you will come up one like this here. Now this is your corner over there, so you go in this direction and this direction, and then this corner should be 65 blocks away from that corner. So I'm going to go ahead and take all these back out, and then no mobs will spawn on them and sneak up at us. Okay, so every farm itself is 20 by 20, the square, and then when you put your villager tank on the ends, it becomes 30 by 30. So only the initial square itself, the house itself, is 20 by 20. What you want to do is start counting out your blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and then come up on the side, on this side too. And this just lets you remember where your door is. So do this for the next sides as well. I'll do this one again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Alright, so I'll do the other two sides and I'll be right back. Alright, so your build should start to look something like this, 20 by 20. And what you want to do is just pick a corner, and then you're going to come up 2 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you're going to come up 4 blocks like this here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then just repeat it again the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is where all your doors will be sitting, is on this here row. So 6 doors, row of 6 blocks, 6 doors. And you want to do this all the ways around, all 4 sides. So 6, 6, 6, and then your sides. So 20 by 20. Fill the other 3 sides in, and we'll be right back. So now your farm should start to look something like this. Once you get all your doors and walls added in, what you're going to want to do next is just put 2 more blocks on top like this here, and go all the ways around your farm, closing it all off just like this. So I'll do this wall, and I'll do the next wall, and then I'll pause the video and finish it out. So just come up another 2 blocks on top of your doors and make a ring all the ways around your farm, just like that. Great. Now your farm should start to look something like this here. And what you want to do is first just fill in the floor. So this whole area gets filled in right across like this here. And you just want to do this whole floor in. So I'll fill that in and I'll be back again. Alright, so now you got your floor in. Looks really good. And what you want to do now is grab yourself some torches, and coming in 2 from the side, 1 block up from the floor, put torches right the way across, and stop 2 from the side on the same, and then do this little area right here. The brighter you have it in here, the less mobs are going to spawn, and that's definitely what you want. You want no mobs at all. So fill her all up with torches, and just like I said, leave the corners open like that because you're going to be placing your water in there. So we'll just finish up this side. Now grab your bucket of water and place your in the corner underneath your torches, and then do the same on this side, and again. And then put 1 up in the corner just like that, up on the second block. Just like that. And then underneath all the torches, you want to go ahead and just fill that in with water. So you're definitely going to want to make an unlimited water supply, or get yourself an ice cube farm. Ice farms are great for stackable water buckets. That's what I say. I only use water buckets in creative mode because they more or less stack. So go ahead and punch out those 4 blocks, and then you want to grab your building block again and just come up above your second row of torches on the second half of this door, and you want to start filling in your second floor. So right the way across like this here, above all your torches. And right the way across. Alright, so I'll fill this in and I'll check back with you guys in a minute. Okay, so you got your second floor area filled in. What you want to do is grab your torches again, come 2 blocks in from the corner, and just start placing down torches all the ways across like this, staying 2 blocks away from that corner, and then follow that all the ways around the sides. And once again, this is just to light it up. You really don't want mobs in here. If you have a sorting system on or anything like that, or just mobs are bad, so make sure you got her lit right up. And then again, in the corner underneath your torches, place your water buckets, and over here, and then your bucket up in the top corner, just like that. And then go ahead and place water underneath all your torches along the sides, just like this. Great. Now what you want to do is take out these 4 blocks just like that there, and normally what I do is to keep mobs from spawning on top of my farm area here. I just add glass. I add 2 layers so that golems can't swim over to the edge or spawn on the edge and glitch out and get on top, because like I said, I build this in all my survival worlds. Anytime I want anybody's server, this is my preferred iron farm, so I build a lot of them. And when you're loading and unloading chunks, iron golems tend to glitch through walls if there's any left in your farm when the chunk unloads, and it can become a big mess. And we'll get into that when we make the villager pod here next, because the villager pod, when I first made these farms, I was making it too big, and I was getting golem spawns inside with my villagers, and there's nothing harder than trying to get an iron golem out of that little square without getting all your villagers out of there, and it's just a really big mess. So anyways, now that you've got your 2 high glass border around to stop the mobs from spawning, we're going to get into the villager tank. So right underneath this door, between your 2 sets here, you're going to come out 5 blocks, just like that, and then fill this in. This is your floor area where villagers will be standing. Alright, and then you want to come up 3 and bring that wall right across 2. And same on this side, up 3, and just fill this wall right in. Now you want to start filling in the ceiling, bring that across, and make sure it's only 2 blocks high. Like I said, you don't want golems spawning in here, so once you have that done, go ahead and punch out this corner block, get yourself a trapdoor. Now I use trapdoors here so that if for any reason I need to get in the tank with the villagers, that I can have access. I don't need to break blocks. Now you want to get yourself just light it up. You don't have to build this part exactly like this, but I use sea lanterns, a good block of light, and then I put 4 torches on the back wall and then 3 on each side wall, so plenty of light in here. And then get yourself some glass so that you can see what's going on. Glass in the front there. You don't have to. I just choose to. I like being able to see in. And then place a water bucket in each corner. And then every one of these pods, should get 4 villagers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one is almost complete. Now take your light block. Again, I use sea lanterns because I like it, and you want to make sure you glass in this whole area because mobs can spawn up here if you don't, and regardless of light, depending on your situation where you're building this, mobs will spawn in funny places. So you want to make sure that you don't have any mobs in your golem farm other than your villagers and your iron golems. So once again, 5 from the wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then fill that in. And then your walls, bring it up 3. And again on this side, 3. And then start your ceiling. Torches on the back, 3 torches down each side, and my sea lanterns, and some white glass. Put your water in each corner. And then your 4 villagers. Get yourself a trapdoor. Put your trapdoor on. And then mob prevention. And like I said, guys, I can't stress this enough. Not only for this farm, but any farm that you're doing. Make sure that only that mob is going to be there. Like in a slime farm, you want to make sure you're only spawning slimes in your area. So mob prevention is key for the efficiency of any build. So I'm going to finish this last 2 pods off, and when I'm done that, I'll be right back with progress update. Alright, so now you got your 4 pods built, and you got 4 villagers in each pod, each villager tank, and we're already spawning golems down here, and it doesn't take very long. What you want to do is now you put on the killing chamber, so come right underneath here, and along the back place row 4, and what you want to do is come down 3 blocks and then extend this out a little down both sides, and go and get yourself some packed ice. Again, this is just for my method. Depending on how you want to kill them, it's all up to you and how you transport them. But like I said, if you're going to do this design with, you know, the max amount of farms you can fit in this area, then I suggest killing them right where they fall, and moving the iron afterwards. So you want to place your sign in 1 block up, give yourself some space for your water, and take your lava bucket and put your lava bucket up top like that. And then I'm just going to extend this here, so when we put in our water it doesn't flow down the sides. Just like that. And again, some light for mob prevention. And some glass so we can see what's going on. And then go down on the bottom here and place in 2 water buckets and just let the water stream push ahead. So if you're going to use this design, you want to extend it like I had over there, so you just keep bringing your floor out. So I'll do that. Add some more packed ice. Packed ice doesn't melt next to lava or in the sun or placed next to a torch, and so I use a lot of that, mostly because it brings the items along faster, So now when you're doing this, you want to make it pretty or keep a pattern over there. I got a nice little pattern. For this side, I'm just going to do it fast, only use glass, so I can just, you know, get the basic functionality down. So now that you got it, your pathway extended, go ahead and grab a sign, and you want to place one over the water like this right here, and one in front, and then again on the other side, exactly the same thing, and then place your water buckets just like that. So now your iron should be able to flow freely through and down into a hopper, or however you plan on moving your items afterwards. So if you're just going to build one farm, this is now complete. You're spawning iron, everything's in order, no mobs can spawn on here, and everything's lit up and perfect. This will be working. What we're gonna do is kill this guy, so we started our spawns again. He won't be messing things up. And I'll just remove this lava. Good. So now, like I said, this farm is 65 blocks away from that farm and 65 blocks away from this farm. If you're going to stack them like I have here, what you want to do then is now you want to come up to the bottom corner of your farm, place a block, and then count 70 blocks high. So starting at the bottom on your floor, place block, and then count up 70. So now you've built up 70 blocks high, and what you want to do then is come up one more block, so there, and then come on back on this side and just delete these blocks. So you can delete all the way down. You don't want mobs spawning on them. They're just there for only counting purposes. So yeah, now that you're 70 blocks high, your floor is now 71, and that's your corner again. And you just keep going, same as what you did down there. Another 20 by 20 square. All's the same. So like I said again, 70 blocks from the bottom of that one to the top or the bottom of this one here, and 70 blocks between those two as well. So 65 blocks width between them and 70 block height between them as well. And once you finish your builds, you'll get a lot of golems spawn. So like I said, 1 in 7,000 chance every game tick, or about 1 every 6 minutes. In this case, that's 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 and 8 are 16. 16 and 16 is 32. And every golem can drop up to 5 ingots. So 5 ingots times 32. I'm not even sure. Get out a calculator. So that's 160 ingots, and if you divide that by 9, so that's 17 blocks every 6 minutes or something like that. So that's pretty good rate. Like I said, this is the best you're gonna get for survival golem farm. Anything short of spawners, but it's definitely worth the work once you get everything in place. Like I said, I've built them this big in survival before, and the rates you get on it are just out of this world. So much iron. So, like I said in the beginning, you want to make sure that you are nice and close to the bedrock, far down as you can get. Don't worry about getting your iron up where you're going to be playing. You can item elevator it that high, but you definitely want to make sure you count your blocks very carefully so that you fit all your farms in below build height. And if you want, I guess I'll show you an instance where right now I'm building one of these in the townie server on Golden Leaf, and right now I'm got one tower hole dug into the ground and I'm ready to start framing in my farm. So I'm gonna hop on over to my townie survival Golden Leaf series where I play, and I'll show you that farm. So here I am on the Golden Leaf Townie Survival server, and this is my town where I'm playing in my series right now, and you can see where I've already sectioned out where my towers are going to be in here. So there's 65 blocks between each one, and what I've gone ahead and done is counted out the spacing like I showed you. 1 block space for the sunlight to get down to your doors when you reach farther to the ground, and then a second space that I can replace it with a nice clean looking wall. And this is what it will look like when you're all finished. So we go all the ways down, and I should be standing on level 6, and then I've hollowed all this out, and I'll be starting my iron golem farm tower in this hole, and it'll extend all the ways up to build height, and I'll probably switch over to glass at ground level here. So I do this so that nobody can fall down in, no mobs can get down in, and like I said, make sure that there's one space between here and your actual farm so that light can get down to the doors on your farm at the bottom. So yeah, this is my tutorial and some information about iron golems and villagers and a lot of stuff packed down into one. If this has helped you in any way, or if you like this tutorial, you found it useful, please don't be scared to hit that like button and share, comment, subscribe. If there's any other farms that you'd like to see built or any other tutorials that you want done, just leave down a post in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to get that on the fly for you. So until then, have a good one, and we'll see you later, mates.